Hello, welcome back to Hardware Guide. Okay, so the next part is to buy PCB component. Okay, buy PCB component. Okay, so so when it comes to PCB, you have two options actually. So either you make on your own or you just order. Okay. So if you want to make on your own, you can just ask EMC Technologies. Okay, so you can go to PCB fabrication and then you just order here. Okay, so for I think it's one you need to have a Gerber file. Okay, and you can start design this. Okay, or you can just I think Muzake EMC technology also can make it for you, but it should be costly because of the fees of the design. Okay, and this one is also quite expensive. Okay, so this is if you want to make on your own. If you want to order it, okay. Another way is you order it yourself. Okay, of course, when you order it yourself, you have to design it on your own. This one, AMC technology can make it for you, and it is you have to pay a price depending on the design. Okay, but if you already have the design, you want to order it, you want it to be beautiful like this. Okay, you can just order it online. I think it's quite expensive. Okay, let me check first. Okay, so here is it. Okay, either you can use PCB waste or JLC PCB. Okay, I think you can. Okay, I share the QR code here, and of course this one also QR code. Okay, so the price is around. You have to minimum usually 5. Okay, and five what you call 5 set. Okay, you cannot just buy one, and if you have some mistake in the design, you have to redo everything again, and you have to buy you have to pay again. I think the PCB is quite cheap, around $10 I think, depending on the size and everything. Around $10, this one $10, but the problem is the shipping. I think is around $30. Okay, $25 to $30 just to get to Malaysia. So shipping is quite expensive, and after you convert this, you have to pay around 100 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, 30 USD, and then you have to convert to Malaysia is 120 USD. 120 ringgit Malaysia. So if that one you want to ensure it is come to Malaysia in 1 week, but if you don't care about the time, you have a lot of time. If you have 1 month, okay, 1 month, 2 month, you can use a normal standard shipping. I think that one is around $5 also. Five multiplied by 4, around 20 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, so depend on you. And for this one, you have to set a Gerber file. I think it's called a Gerber file. Okay, Gerber. Okay, Gerber file. So that is your second option. This is the first option, second option. But UTM, for UTM student only, you also can go to what you call to our lab for UTM student only. Okay, you can go to P04 level 1 PCB lab. Okay, so they have the heat transfer PCB process, or you can print on your own, print PCB. Okay, both are available. And of course, if you are a UTM student, you can get free PCB. Okay, you just go there and fill out the form. Okay, fill form, and you can you have to get the signature from your supervisor, and that's it. You get free PCB. If you cannot get that, if you don't want to use the PCB from the PCB lab, you can just buy it. It's around RM 10 to RM 30 ringgit, depending on the size. Okay. Okay, so when it comes to PCB, you have to buy the PCB, of course. So I suggest you just use Shopee. Okay, so PCB. Okay, for if you want to make on your own, I suggest you just use a single side. This one, single side. Okay, this one is 10 multiplied by 15. Okay, quite cheap, but it's from mainland. It's take around 2 weeks to go here, so you can just find from Selangor maybe. Okay, just choose the single sided. Okay, so single sided is much more cheaper than double sided, and for our lab it is much more easy if you just do the single sided, because you are doing research, not product. If you're doing product, better double sided, but for research or maybe the capstone, you just use single sided. Okay, this is the measurement. This one is A4. This one is the largest one, I think. Okay, or you can choose accordingly. So for research, I suggest you just buy the big one. The big one. Okay, for circuit, you just buy the big one. You don't want any interference, you can just put far away. But if this one is too big, you can just buy a medium size one. Okay, and for research, I suggest you split. Okay, maybe this one is you buy a maybe medium one like this. One is for power converter, one is for sensor, one is for gate drive. The reason is, if one of it broken, you don't have to do everything again. Okay, that is the reason. So my first suggestion is just choose a medium size, medium PCB, and split split between the power converter, sensor, and gate driver, something like that. Or basically you have to split, but not too much splitting. If you split too much, you have a lot of wire. Okay, if you split too little, if something happen, you have to make again everything. Okay, so that's it for PCB. Okay, that is for PCB. Okay, so this one already complete. Okay, this one already complete. Okay, this one also already complete. Okay, that is for PCB. Okay, after you have already done the PCB, next you have to buy the connector. Okay, so for the connector, I suggest you go to Citron or Top One. Okay, Top One is the easiest one to get the connector. They have a lot of connector, but for the website of the component, you can just go here. Okay, Citron, they have the same component here. So I suggest for connector, okay, when it comes to connector, so for connector you have low current and you have high current. So this one is for controller. Anything that is controller or microcontroller or small signal, you can use this. Okay, for the low current, but for this one you have to buy the high current connector. Okay, so for this for low current, I suggest you buy the 2600 version. Okay, I think this one is the most standard one. Everyone use, not everyone, most researcher use this. Okay, so you go to Citron, you search 2600. Okay, 2600 PCB connector. You can see here you have a lot of it. Okay, you have way. Okay, I usually 2-way, 3-way, 4-way, depending on the connector you want to use. Okay, so this is the 2600 2-way header. Okay, you have to buy this. Okay, and you have to look, this one is the straight one, this one is from the side. Okay, and then beside this you also need to buy the pin. Okay, this one is only the header. You also need to buy the pin. I don't know. Okay, this one, housing. Okay, so this one you will put it in the PCB. This one, another one, this one is the housing. You have to buy it also to put it. Okay, there is also a metal here. You also have to buy it. Okay, make sure don't forget to buy that, the metal inside this. Okay, So 2600 is quite cheap. I suggest you buy a lot. Okay, yeah, sometimes you solder this is broke, you have to replace it. Okay, so buy this a lot. Okay, if you need around 10 connection, 20, 30, just buy it a lot. Okay, so that is the first. The second thing. Okay, so the first thing is the PCB itself, and then you have to low current connector 2600. Okay, this one is header and housing. Okay, and for the housing you need to buy also the pin, the pin for the housing. Okay, so next is the high current one. Okay, for high current one you have to search for terminal. Okay, I suggest you buy this one, terminal block DG128P. Okay, so this there are a lot of things. This one is 3 type. Okay, 3 1. This one is 2. I think this one is 20 ampere. Yeah, if you are less than 20 ampere, I suggest you use this. Okay, it use screw and is very tight. Okay, that is a very good connector. So you maybe I put this. Okay, you can scan it later. Okay, this one also can, I think, but this one is low current. Okay, be careful. This one I forget, but it's much more lower current. So you can just use this. This one is for 3. Okay, so this one is for 2. So that is one of the things that you need to buy. Okay, so connector, terminal. Okay, I forget the name. Let me check again. DG128V. Okay, DG128V. Okay, so this one usually if you have a converter PCB, you have the input, right? This one and the output. So you have to use this one. Okay, for the source and load, and for the signal you just use 2600. Okay, so connector terminal is much more expensive, RM1. So you have to properly calculate it. Okay, and next you have to see the PCB stand. PCB STAND. Okay, so PCB stand is quite important. I suggest you buy the screw nut type. This one is the screw nut type, and this is the height. Okay, the height usually I suggest 30 is good. Okay, but it's a little bit expensive, but it's okay. 30 millimeter. Okay, means that 3 cm the distance here from here to here. So if your component is much more larger, I suggest much more higher. Okay, sometimes you have to remove the interference. You have to put this one. Okay, this one is screw. I don't suggest this. Find screw and nuts. Okay, so next thing, let me put here. Okay, screw, nut, PCB stand. Okay, 30 mm is quite good. Okay, if you don't want it very high, maybe 15 millimeter, but make sure it is enough spacing between the PCB. And usually for one PCB you need to put at least 4 PCB stand. Okay, and even if you don't need PCB stand, I suggest you buy it, because usually it becomes short circuit. Okay, without PCB stand, if you put only on the table, sometimes they are metal, it will short circuit your PCB and you will damage everything. It will burn. Okay, whether you want to use it or not, you have to put PCB stand. Okay, like it or not, put it. Okay, if not, it will short circuit, and you can stack one to another. So you have PCB stand for here, right? Okay, and then you put the PCB. Okay, and then you can stack another one. Okay, you can save space like this, and then you stack another one. Okay, so another thing when it comes to PCB is the board. Okay, so you can just search plywood here, because you have to put it somewhere. Okay, for research I suggest you use PCB board, not PCB board, playboard. Okay, so I think it's not too expensive, less than 20 ringgit. Okay, fine in Malaysia only because it's big, and if you buy it outside overseas it can cost very high. Okay, small one I think it should be okay. 1 feet multiplied by 2 feet. Don't buy 3 mm, it's not very good. Okay, 12, easier for you to read. Okay, 9 or 12. Okay, easier for you to put the PCB stand on the top. Okay, so this one, if you are doing research, it's better to do this. But if you are doing capstone, okay, capstone are more towards product, you can buy the box. Okay, if you want, it's better to use a junction box here. It's a bit expensive depending on the size. Okay, something like this. Okay, this one I think is in inch. Okay, you can use this, but I don't suggest it because usually in the box it's very hot, and for research it will produce a bad result. Okay, either use plywood. Okay, don't use metal for safety. Use plywood, or you can use junction box. Okay, for junction box is usually more towards product. Okay, but I recommend this one. Okay, okay, some people also use acrylic. It's much more pretty. Okay, because it's like glass but it's plastic actually. It's much more pretty, but if you do mistake, this one is hard to reverse. You cannot reverse it. But if you use plywood, you can just use sandpaper and the drill will be removed. So if you use acrylic, it's much more beautiful, but it's easily damaged. And not easily damaged, you cannot reverse the mistake you make. Okay, using acrylic. Okay, so that is for the base for here. Okay, okay, acrylic or plywood. Okay, or junction box. Okay, so I think this is all. Okay, this is all for PCB. Okay, sometime yeah, I think this is only the thing that you need for the PCB. Okay, so that's it. Okay, thank you.